Elgato has some big announcements lined up for tomorrow with some new streaming gear. There are some pictures in here as well. I've heard some rumblings. This is from Zach Bussey, who's been by the stream a couple of times. Of course, you should go follow his channel on Twitch where he talks about all of the Twitch news. And let's go and look at some of the big reveals that are potentially going to happen tomorrow. Again, not all of these may be revealed tomorrow, but there's actual pictures of the products here and stuff, which make me think this is probably going to happen tomorrow. So the first thing up here, we've got an Elgato webcam. Now, Elgato hasn't been in the webcam space, but there's a lot of room for webcams in there. Logitech has a whole bunch. Of course, the C920, the one that I use here, is a streamer classic. I use the Logitech Brio up here, and then I use my phone as this camera here. But an Elgato camera, I'm curious to see what they would do in that space. Maybe you can change the lens, maybe more control. I find Logitech cameras to be very fiddly in terms of controlling and getting the right settings. Maybe this is a really good webcam with great controls for a reasonable price. We'll see. Randy, would you have any interest in a Elgato webcam?
I'd have to know what exactly it does, because I do have my frustrations with my C20 in particular, that it goes out of focus kind of frequently. And also, if you use the microphone on it, you can hear the focusing mechanism. It clicks, and everyone in the meeting is like, what is the deal with that clicking sound? And it's me.
Yeah.
So I would like a webcam that doesn't have that problem, and doesn't have a problem with focusing. But I don't know if I'd really be willing to spend any money on that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Okay. I'm curious to see, do they go 4K with that camera? The Brio that I'm using right now goes up to 4K 30, but I've never broadcast in 4K because I don't even have a 4K monitor, so I can't even see it. And this computer doesn't.
A 4K webcam. I don't understand. Where are you broadcasting that? Where are you recording that? If at that point, if you're doing like serious like recording stuff, then buy a camera. I don't know.
I mean, there's a big gap between a $200 webcam and $1,500 for a full DSLR setup.
But yeah, I like, if you're using it for, where are you broadcasting 4K?
Twitch, or not YouTube. YouTube streams in 4K.
Yeah, even that, like, are there people streaming in 4K on YouTube?
Yes. It's not common, but people do it. I know Harris Heller recently ran a stream in 4K.
If you really just need to see people's pores, I guess. Like, what are you seeing at that point?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the specs are, what the image quality is for this, what the price is. I think webcams are still pretty hard to find. So if this is a good alternative to the Logitechs out there, the AverMedias, I'd be curious. I don't need it. At this point, I would be looking for a DSLR solution, but it's a whole thing. I've talked with Steph about this, is that if I was to go DSLR, I would need to change pretty much this entire desk, because the thing I want is, if I were to go with a DSLR camera, I still want this face-on camera, but in order to put a DSLR camera here, I'd have to get a tripod, but the actual monitor stand here is very narrow, and there isn't enough room behind it to put a stand there. So if I were to do the camera, I'd need to do, camera, lens, a capture card for the webcam, and then a whole new desk that goes deeper so that I can mount the camera in the spot. I really don't want this side camera sort of deal. Oh, this side camera as my main cam. Like, I know a lot of streamers do it where the camera's off to the side while they play. I want a face on view.
Yeah.
So curious to see if I'm guessing they've kind of teased this one already, so I'm pretty sure this is one they're going to show tomorrow. The next one, the Elgato Stream Deck Mark II. as you all know, I'm a huge fan of the Elgato Stream Deck. I have 2 of them. I'm using the original Stream Deck here, plus the Stream Deck XL. This one looks basically... Oh, sorry, wrong camera. This basically looks like a regular Stream Deck, but it has the much nicer stand. The one that is found on the Stream Deck XL. Let me show again the differences here. The original Stream Deck has an absolutely horrible stand, where this thing sort of just like flops around, and this is a separate thing, and it falls over all the time, and the angles that you'd want aren't quite right. But the stand on the Stream Deck XL is just this solid magnet thing. The cable tucks in under really nicely, and they're basically just implementing that sort of stand solution into the original Stream Deck, which is fantastic.
Oh.
Also, I knocked.
I bet the family button works way better on the version 2.
So yes, I would say wait for the Mark II, but if you don't mind the stand being, like, I've used the Stream Deck for years, and the stand is annoying, but if you can get a discount on the original Stream Deck and you're a little price conscious, just grab the original one. And then another product, the Elgato XLR Wave. So one of the big things is that the Elgato Wave microphone has some really cool software in it that allows you to split audio sources and allows the streamer to hear stuff that the stream doesn't hear. But the only way to get access to that software is through the microphone. But now it looks like with this device, if you've got an XLR microphone, you can also use that software as well.
Ooh, that's fancy.
So you plug your XLR input here, and then you get all of the control of that Wave software with this device going in. I think that's a very interesting solution, and something for me to keep an eye on if I ever decide to upgrade this microphone. It's something I've thought about, but I don't think I really need to right now. But if I do, I'll keep this in mind.
I don't think you need a mic upgrade. I think you sound great.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not listening to your streams being like, oh, if Jet's voice were only 10% clearer than it is now, I feel like I'm in the room with him.
And then, oh, go for it.
I will say the clip guard is very, very nice. I love not having to have to think about it. It's great. It's fantastic software.
Yeah. I will say, if you're in the range, if you're in the market for a USB microphone and you're looking to spend in the price point of an Elgato Wave, just buy an Elgato Wave. And don't bother with your HyperX's or even the Blue Yeti Nano. I like it a lot. Had I not rushed out to buy this when I did, I probably would have just gotten an Elgato Wave instead.
+1 to the Elgato Wave. I adore it. I recommend it.
All right,
to people.
And the last one that Zach has here is the... I think is this the... I think they've... Oh, it's just more Elgato multi-mount stuff, and this particular extension has the hookups for a microphone stand, and the... $100 to $40. This is US dollars most likely. I actually had to replace... Oh, we could talk about this. I actually had to replace my mic arm because the old one broke. And I can show you guys what happens when you buy a cheap microphone stand and what happens. Give me 1 second.
If you're just tuning in, I'm Randy from inthirdperson.com, a personal look at video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits.
So
right.
Mic stands, the market for mic stands are like this sort of boom arm situation. It's really weird because there are things like the Neewer, which is what I've been using for the last few years, which is a $20 mic stand.
Same.
Boom arm, and then the next price up is the Blue Compass, which is $200. There's no in between. And the problem with I mean, if you get the blue compass, I'm assuming it would never fall apart. It's the only one you'll ever need, but it's $200. Like the blue compass is more expensive than this microphone. I could buy 2 of these mics with for the price of 1 mic stand. I've had issues with these in the past. The first one of these, the clip completely wore out from the desk. So like the first time I unscrewed it, it just fell. And I had to like, I used this really ghetto solution with twine to tie it back together. This time the arm finally gave out, where, as you can see right here on the joint, this actually caved in.
Oh no.
So the weight of the microphone was such that, yeah, the whole arm just bent, and it was like hanging really low and dragging along the clamp here and grinding it down to the metal. So before this snapped off completely, I went and bought another one. Hopefully this Elgato solution is a better in-between solve of, you know, quality versus price. I've heard amazing things about the multi-mount system, but I find them very expensive for pulls. I've always been reluctant.
I've got literally 3 boom arms. I think they're all from Newer, and I have not had an issue with them. I mean, I think within the little tightening device, I'm pretty sure that like a little nub of whatever's in there is falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as I don't take off any of these arms, I think I'm good.
Okay.
But I have run into issues where like I kind of wish my arm had like a third position to, like a third arm to it, a third like segment, so I could like really curve it around, but that's like a minor thing.
Okay. Also, Fake Ghost Pirate Robot, I know I'm just catching up on the chat. Good SLRs are always on Kijiji, and most can be used as webcams now, no? So, the big problem with those, I mean, yes, you can get a used DSLR camera, and more of the manufacturers have started creating software that will allow you to use it as a webcam directly. However, there are weird frame caps. They cap at like 1080-30, and they are not consistent. Harris Heller put out a video recently comparing the software, and the software solutions are still not as good as using a capture card for DSLR cameras. So on top of buying, you know, whatever camera you're getting, whether you get it used on Kijiji, you're still getting a lens, and even then you're still a couple of $100s in the hole. And then to get the capture card, it's still another $200. That's just for one camera. JF Raptor asks, can you recommend a boom arm that you can transfer from office den to living room and back? What kind of solution are you looking for? Are you looking for something that clamps onto a desk? Are you looking for something that stands? Like, here, give me 1 sec. Are you looking for something like this that I can just put, that you can put on a table and then, you know, screw your microphone in here? Right now I have my phone clamp on here for when I do my TikToks and stuff. But yeah, you can screw a microphone in here as well. This is, I don't even know what brand this is. This is something I just bought on Amazon for, I think, $30, and it works fine. If you want something that, you know, clamps onto a desk, the Newer one is there as well. You want to buy our Canon M50? It does 1080p 60. We'll talk, PJ. I'll message you after the stream. I really shouldn't right now, but at some point, I'll consider.